I'll keep it 1000 with you guys, like I always do. Like I'm presenting that. It would just be like a change of course, but absolutely not. I don't take painkillers. I don't take any sort of over the counter pain relief medicine like ibuprofen or anything like that. And I haven't for, oh, knock wood, about 15, 16 years at this point in time. Like when I made a complete and total health change and a big push towards overall betterment, I stopped with all of that stuff. I found it to be completely and totally unhelpful because I was under the uninformed, at least at the time, now I got all the stats to back it up, that I could manage any pain, whether it just be knee pain, ankle pain, back pain, or anything like that. I could manage it through proper eating, proper exercise. That was my options, or that was my opinion at the time, and now, well, here we are, a couple decades later. It looks like my intuition is kind of getting backed up by the facts because you got ibuprofen, the main ingredient, and Advil, Aleve, all of your over-the-counter headache medicine, okay? If you don't know, now you know. Kills thousands each year. So what is the alternative? Proper health, proper exercise, but nah, that's too hard. We just need a pill that you can just make the headaches go away until you need to pop more pills. Anyways, it's just a self-repeating cycle. Back in 2013, one Reuters article opened up with the following stunning sentence. Long-term, high-dose use of painkillers such as ibuprofen and diclofenac, whatever, is equally hazardous. Okay, in terms of heart attack risk as use of the drug Vioxx. All right. Which was withdrawn due to its potential dangers, researchers said. In 2004, Vioxx recalls, as you might remember, I was 14. I don't remember, but maybe you guys do. I don't know. Was spurned by nearly 30,000 excess cases of heart attacks and sudden cardiac deaths caused by drugs between 1999 and 2003. Yo, 30,000 people yeeted in a 4-year span. That's reason to recall, I would imagine, but why the hell did it take so long? Oh, we're going to see another recall here, and we're going to see a whole bunch of litigation in the next 10, 15 years for reasons. I'm not going to get specific or anything like that. I think you guys can figure that out for yourself, despite the fact that scientific research had accumulated as early as 2000 linking Vioxx to increased heart attacks and strokes. Huh. Where have we seen that before? And drug manufacturer Merck and the FDA remain silent about the death toll steadily increasing. Huh. Deja vu? Anybody else got a case? Deja vu? Alright. Reuters report focused on the research published in Lancet. Wow, back when Lancet wasn't woke, man. It's just simpler times. Indicating the risk of heart attack increased as much as a third, and the risk of heart failure doubles among heavier users of NSAID drugs. Yes. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, I think. Pain and unhealthy levels of inflammation are fast becoming default bodily states in the industrialized world. Well, the highly processed world, I would say. The mass-produced food age. Kind of clunky to say. Maybe we'll just go back to industrialized world. Okay, good. But in most cases, we can adjust the underlying pro-inflammatory conditions by altering our diet and reducing stress in the environmental chemical exposures. Makes sense. These approaches take time, discipline, and energy, and sometimes we just want the pain to stop now. Well, of course you do, because you don't take the requisite planning beforehand to make sure that you aren't going to be having headaches. But no. I need a little band-aid for this gunshot wound. Yeah, don't treat the underlying cause or anything like that, you useless thing. Anyways, in those often compulsive moments, we find ourselves popping an over-the-counter pill to kill the pain. Yes, and in the long term, the only thing that gets killed is, well, you can finish that sentence. The problem with this approach is that if we do it often enough, we may kill ourselves. Oh my god, self-deletion via Advil. Interesting. Ibuprofen really is the perfect example of this. As mentioned above and so below, this petrochemical derivative. Yo, really? Interesting. This whole move away, side tangent for a second, folks. This whole move away from fossil fuels that's out there, especially in the industry, in the energy industry, is really kind of detrimental to everything, because I couldn't be talking on this microphone. You couldn't be watching this content on whatever device you're consuming it on without the use of petrochemicals. I just didn't know it found its way over to the pain relief categories. That's just very interesting. All right, anyways, maybe I'm just out of the loop on that. Anyways, significantly increased risk of heart attack and increased cardiac and all-cause mortality when combined with aspirin. All right, with over 24 serious adverse health effects, including anemia. Knew about that one. DNA damage. Yo, what? It's changing your DNA, huh? Again, deja vu. Hearing loss, hypertension, and scrolling down. Influenza mortality. Yo, what? Holy. There's some things that I'd like to say about this, but, you know, hey, you're watching this on YouTube. I think if you've been watching the channel long enough, you brought here by certain content that I've had to private until all the strikes fall off, and then, yeah, maybe it'll just come back. But if you want to link everything up together, interesting. The only thing that's really missing, okay, miscarriage, yeah, and then you got something else that's working with the reproductive cycle as well. The only thing that's missing is just long fibrous clots. What do I mean by that? Ibuprofen is, in fact, not unique in elevating cardiovascular disease risk and or mortality. The entire category of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, I did get it right, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, so they just, NSAID drugs is just kind of redundant, appears to have this under-recognized dark circle, cardiovascular disease and cardiac mortality, score highest on the risk of over 100 unintended adverse health effects associated with their use. So, what does one do? Great question. Pain is pain. Yes, and you just deal with the pain. You just buy a leather belt and you bite down on it. If the pain gets too much, you just fight the pain. Whether it happens to you or you witness it in another, which can be worse. Yeah, but some people are just absolute pansies. I banged my toe and I need a handful of pills. Just, take a salt tablet. Finding relief is top priority. So, what are some natural alternatives to ibuprofen that won't end up killing you in the long term? Ginger? Oh man! A 2009 study found that ginger capsules, 4 times so about a gram of ginger throughout the course of the day, interesting, were about as effective as mefenamic acid and ibuprofen in relieving pain in women associated with their menstrual cycles. Oh my god. Yeah, just take a Midol. Topical arnica. No, it's Amica. It's Amica cream. 2007 human study found that topical treatments with arnica was as effective as ibuprofen at dealing with Johnny Depp and all of his rings for hand osteoarthritis. Oh, see? Oh, no, actually, that'd be used for Johnny Depp after he was done just beating her about the head. Amber Heard we're talking about, of course. Explain the joke, Don. It makes it funnier. Incidence of side effects combination. All right. Anaxanthin, ginkgo biloba, and vitamin C. That's interesting. I'll walk into a bar. 2011 animal study found that this combination to be equal or better than ibuprofen for reducing asthma-associated respiratory inflammation. Chinese skullcap. Sorry, what? That sounds like a torture. Bicalin. Okay, 2003 animal study found that the compound in Chinese skullcap known as bicalin was equipotent to ibuprofen in reducing pain. All right, omega-3 fatty acids. Shout out. 2006 human study found that omega-3 fatty acids between 1,200 and 2,400 milligrams daily. What do the label just where I keep my supplements is just turned around, but I take omega-3, and right now for my small fish oil, it's Alaskan salmon, which also has, fish oils in it as well. So it's close. Yes, had analgesic and anti-inflammatory activity similar to ibuprofen. Great, fantastic. Same with Panzac ginseng. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but whatever. St. John's wort. I've never messed around with that stuff, but I know a lot of people have. Okay, 2004 animal study found the St. John's wort was twice as effective as ibuprofen as a painkiller. Yo, wow, that's kind of amazing. Anthocyanins from sweet cherries and raspberries. I love me some raspberries. 2001 study, study cell study. All right, found that anthocyanins extracted from raspberries and sweet cherries were as effective as ibuprofen and naproxen at suppressing the inflammation-associated enzyme known as cyclooxygenase 1 and 2. Interesting. Holy basil. Dio's favorite spice. If you know, you know, and if you don't worry about it. 2000 study from the holy basil contains compounds with anti-inflammatory activity comparable to ibuprofen, naproxen. It's like the fourth time that's appeared, and I still just don't know. Anyways, and aspirin. And finally, olive oil, for similar reasons that you'd have fish oils on there. Compound found within olive oil known as oleocanthal has been shown to have anti-inflammatory properties similar to ibuprofen. Exactly. I would also couple all of this stuff with a paleo or a ketogenic diet as well, which is just naturally going to be anti-inflammatory due to the decreased ingestion of carbohydrates on top of that, which are just directly causing inflammation within the body overall. So, 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Of course, you can just, stuff your face with more pills, or you could just eat a balanced diet and do the requisite amount of work, but that's too hard. Your head hurts right now. You don't want to make life changes or anything like that. There are, of course, hundreds of additional substances that have been studied with their pain-killing and or anti-inflammatory effects, and there are also aromatherapeutic approaches that do not require ingestion or anything at all. But there is also a danger here. If you're talking about an alternative painkiller to ibuprofen, we're still thinking about the palliative, allopathic, a medical model. Yeah, that's all wonderful and fantastic. Yeah, they're talking about aromatherapeutic approaches. Like my go-to air freshener that I have in my little studio right here, the one that I like to smell from time to time. I got lavender, chamomile, all of that type of stuff. Just a nice soothing effect as well. That's my go-to when it comes to this stuff. I like the smell of it, and it's also aromatherapeutic. I've got a video on it. I don't think it made it over to Rumble, but it's definitely over on YouTube if you'd like to check that out, and all of the beneficials from the little purple herb. Oh yes, so instead of just popping stupid little pills, here is 10 different alternatives, couple different diets, and then yes, a good smell good to keep your brain good. How about that? So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.